So I got a question the other day from somebody that was asking me, how did you do what you've done? How were you able to generate the income that you're making? How were you able to meet a bunch of celebrities and live this life that you actually live? It was a great question. And there wasn't I couldn't put it all in words and exactly how I did it, but I figured I'd make a video to show you how I actually made my first $1 million and how I ended up meeting celebrities along the way of doing that. Because the first step that I took to making my $1 million, first to 2010. And I was trying to figure out how do I do 3 things in life? How do I lose weight, make more money, and be happier? The reason why I was thinking about those 3 things, because I was overweight, I was anxious and stressed out, having panic attacks, and I wasn't making very much money. I was only making about $25,000 a year, period. I was in the strawberry industry, and that was my job at the time, right? And so I was trying to figure out what is the best way to do this. So let me give you the steps and the breakdown that I took to make sure that I can make that first $1 million. Now, the first step is going to feel like a contradiction. It's going to feel like, what? Wait a minute, what are you talking about? Because the first step that I took to making my $1 million was quitting my job. I quit my job. Now, most of the time you hear people say, I'm quitting my job because I'm going to go and chase and pursue this other thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to be an entrepreneur, and I'm going to build this thing, and I'm just going to take the scary leap. That's not at all what I was doing. I quit my job, went on unemployment, and literally just worked on myself for the next year and making sure that I can get myself in the best shape possible. What's the thought process behind that? The thought process behind that was, if I can get in shape, if I can feel better in my mind, if I can feel better in my body, I'm going to be a better producer. I'm going to be somebody that is going to be unstoppable because I'm not going to have anxiety anymore, because I have a better state of mind. I'm going to show up with my kids. I'm going to show up in life. And guess what? In about 3.5 months, I lost 75 pounds. 75 pounds. That's crazy. And I ended up finding out so much about nutrition, about how the body works and workouts and staying dedicated to a regimen. I ended up pivoting that into now helping other people do the same thing. Step number 2. Now that you understand the concepts, the ideas, the thought process behind it, go and help somebody do the same. One of the quotes that I absolutely love is, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll always have what you want. So that's what I did. In my living room, in parks, on the sidewalk, in the dirt, it didn't matter. I started to help train people to get in the best shape of their lives. So that was step number 2. I helped enough people get what they want with the skills that I now obtained. I had generated a gross amount, about $4.5 to $500,000 during that period of time. Now, at that point in time, I started to figure out other things that I needed to create in order to attract more clients, hence marketing, right? So I started to figure out these are the things that I have to do to obtain clients into my gym and help more people change their lives. And along that path, I discovered so many things about marketing. I started thinking in my head, holy smokes, now I know what this marketing thing is. I want to go and help other people figure out this marketing thing. In 2018, I had shut down my facility because I made some really stupid decisions. I couldn't uphold the actual business that I was in. I was over leveraged. I had too many things going on, and I didn't have enough cash flow coming in. That was a mistake. Another video for another day. There was only so many things that I could do locally, but on a grand scale, there was people that I can help that had followings, that had YouTube followings, that had Instagram followings, that I can help create more income for themselves. So one of the first people that I helped out was Dr. Eric Thomas. You might know him as E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. I ended up flying out to Indianapolis, Indiana, and I met up with Eric Thomas and his crew there at his conference. We ended up having some conversation. Next thing I know, we're exchanging numbers. We exchanged numbers. I flew back home. I was inspired. I was motivated. I was ready to go take on the world. And I ended up getting a call from somebody on the team, and they were like, hey, C, we need your help when it comes to this marketing thing. Can you help us with this marketing thing? So I flew out to Atlanta. We spent a few days and we devised something that they call the Game Changer inside of their business, which was a mastermind for speakers. It was a great campaign. Once that happened, I figured out, man, I really have a skill set for this marketing thing. I have a skill set to help people that have a following doing the same thing. Now you fast forward a couple of years, I'm on a Zoom call with Mr. Tony Horton, the creator of P90X. A few days later, I sent out an email thanking him for coming on, and I actually offered him to help him with some of his marketing. We end up on a series of 2 calls. All of a sudden, we're having serious conversations about how I can help them with their marketing. Now, here's what happened from there. We ended up closing a contract, and I helped him launch a 7-figure business out of thin air. That was crazy. Calls it Power Nation. You can go check it out now. Taking it back to how I made my first $1 million. I started obtaining other clients because the word got out that I was helping these people make the money that they needed from their following. So let's go through this one more time. The first thing I did was I got myself straight. I got my mind and my body in order. I had to make sure that I was mentally prepared to go out there and to get things done. I had to become somebody different to go out and create the life that I actually wanted. Number 2, I started to help people now because I was proficient in the thing that I was trying to help them with, right? Because I had already gotten the results. I knew the process. I knew how to do that. Number 3, I started to go and surround myself with bigger players. I started surrounding myself with bigger people. I started putting myself in conversations that normally I probably wouldn't have really thought that I can be there. And I showed up during those moments. Half the battle is just being prepared for those moments. Half the battle is just being prepared for the time that that phone call comes in. You have to develop yourself as a person. You have to read the books. You have to get the nutrition right. You have to work out. You have to do all the things that you must do to be able to get ready for those opportunities. You have to understand that a lot of the fight that you're going to have to go through is just being prepared. It's mentally getting yourself prepared. Physically getting your body to a point where you just feel powerful. You feel like you belong in the room. I'm not talking about ignorance. I'm talking about confidence. I'm talking about a certain energy that just transfers to other people. When I lost 75 pounds, right? I lost 75 pounds. Don't you think that I was walking around a different person? Don't you think that I was walking around with a different mindset? I was walking around with a different flow. I was walking around with a different perception on life. You must get yourself to a point where you are no longer the same person that you used to be. You see, that person that was making the $20,000 transformed into a person that can make multiple 6 figures a year, that can make that first $1 million, that can make that. I had to transfer myself. But it all started right here, started through my actions, started going out there doing the work, putting in the hours, the blood, sweat, and tears, and having a vision for where I wanted to go. There it is. I hope that you enjoyed that. Make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure that you subscribe because I'm going to be putting out more of these videos almost daily. We'll see you soon. Never stop evolving as a man. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.